Welcome back to Morbid Mondays. We just did a pre-show.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun actually.
Yeah.
Like our pre-shows are always fun, but like I don't
That
know.
is so loud.
What's it like being able to hear out of both ears?
Oh.
Because I didn't hear nothing.
So mine, noises like that make them go whoop real loud, and
I
pick
say
up on
that, but I
very
can
quickly.
hear one of my light bulbs in my bathroom.
Yeah, because you don't typically lose all your hearing. You lose tones of it, and so like there's probably a couple of tones in there that you could still grab on, and they irritate the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
My left ear kind of works.
Yeah.
All right, let's fucking do this.
Yeah. Welcome back to Morbid Mondays, your unhinged source for all the weird, fucked up, wild, gross. There's a bunch of words in there.
What the fuck history?
There we go.
What the fuck moments in history?
I'm Brian.
I'm Katie.
All right,
Neither of us have memorized this intro.
That's okay. That's okay. I was like, I know most of it.
I wrote that thing. You'd think I'd know it.
We've done it for like a year.
Yeah, I know.
We still don't know it.
Well, I mean, we always have it in front of us, and I didn't bring my notebook. You don't have anything but your laptop in front of you.
Yep.
You know what? Today's a fuck it, we're doing it live day.
Yep.
I've kicked this table. I don't even know
So
how many
that's
times
why I
today.
keep grabbing it, pulling it back to straighten it out. So,
sorry.
What do you know? What do you think? What are your opinions?
Word association. I love it.
About cults.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, wait. Trigger warnings.
Oh, yeah. Let's do trigger warnings.
So, early trigger warnings. We will be talking about a murder.
Murder.
Yeah.
Judas. No.
Judas. No. Murder, cultish stuff. Lots of cultish stuff. I'm staying away from SA. There's a little bit of that was in the actual story. But when we touch on our story, there's better, longer form documentaries all over YouTube. You're about to knock your drink over. There we go.
Thank you.
That you can watch if you're like, you want better details. This is more conversational format. But that's pretty much it. It's like, corruption, cult kind of stuff. It's about cults. So
God, I hate that these words are about to come out of my mouth. That's pretty tame for trigger warnings.
Yeah. Because we're, there's some bad shit in there, but like it's mostly the murder aspect. Murder and a bit of terrorism that thankfully does not go as bad as it could have. It could have gone much worse. And most people actually, even that tell the story, don't go into how bad it could have got. They actually skip a pretty major part. Most of them. There's a couple that really get this right. But yeah, what are your beliefs?
What are my beliefs?
No, what are you? I'm just joking.
Oh, buddy. That's going to be a whole episode.
Yeah, in 30 seconds, describe your
Take two.
I have a stutter. Describe your entire philosophy of religion and life.
No, that's easy. Okay.
But what are your thoughts on what's your experience in studying like cults and stuff?
So I enjoy looking at cults because I have a whole lot of entertainment that comes out of them from going, what the fuck? Recently I watched a whole mess of documentaries on the
the Latter-day Saints guys?
Yes.
No, sir, not the Church of Latter-day Saints, but they were a weird cult,
offshoot.
Yeah, that kind of broke. It was because the guy who ended up being Warren Jeffs.
Yes.
The guy that ended up being in charge of it was not the founder.
I watched a whole a block of documentaries on that recently.
What a creep.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, jeez.
Like going in anyway. But yeah, I derive a lot of entertainment from reading about them while they are happening. Like if and when a news story breaks, I'm usually pretty disgusted by them. I don't have a lot of I guess I would say care or regard, positive care or regard for most organized religion.
Yeah.
I have opinions.
Yeah.
But like cults in particular kind of like make me angry because you generally in a cult, you are surrendering your free will and or your individuality.
Yeah.
To this person that represents a higher power, and they're almost always full of bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's to me. They've always kind of registered as like
I'm a creep. Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
It's like,
Good job, buddy.
What if Jesus was like really into gold? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what it
Your father-in-law.
that's kind of what like they always like remind me of, because it's like they have this vibe of like teacher, healer, all this kind of stuff. But then when it comes down to the works, quote unquote, of these people, it's always like theft, sexual gratitude, fame.
And why is it always sexual gratitude?
Because it's
too?
a base human drive.
Always. Like every
like
single cult that I have looked into, and I have done a lot of cult research because, like, once again, I derive entertainment from them after the fact.
Yeah.
Like I watched the one that was like about a lady that was supposed to be a living goddess on Earth and like literally died from liver failure.
Oh shit.
And that one was central almost entirely on sex. It was insane.
Yeah.
And
this is the one in California?
I think so, yeah.
Like the 1920s?
And then, no. It was recent. It was recent. And like her acolytes or whatever you call them, her initiates, I don't know what her vocabulary was because it's been months since I watched this documentary. But her people carted her body around for like a couple of months. And like because of all of the in her system, she had like mummified.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like they were like waiting for her to wake up, even though she was very obviously dead, like capital D dead.
Yeah,
it was so weird. And then there was the one dude that like killed himself with colloidal silver or something.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
I have
a
beef
lot of
with
people,
colloidal silver.
Yeah, a lot of people have been injured by that shit. Just like, yeah, let's put a bunch of metals you can't pass easily from your body, because this is my beef with the money cults and lesser cults, right? Like people who have very strong beliefs about things that are not really based in reality. So like I talk to people
religion.
Anyway. Right, cuz the thing is like with
I say I am a Christian, like, my entire like belief system is based on, Big Brother in the sky.
Yeah. Most people have a kind of pantheist morality where they believe the earth and life in general is kind of just like good, and that they have a kind of morality that is probably Abrahamic, and unless you're specifically from like India or East Asia, probably Abrahamic. You know what I mean? Like, so there's or indigenous. There's plenty of indigenous religions.
That's true.
So which are great, and often I think the thing that separates cults from religions is really, does it have a strong moral philosophy that can be reasoned with? Case in point, Judaism has the Talmud, right? Centuries of arguments.
Mm-hmm.
Christians have gone through multiple reformations.
There are so many different flavors of Christian.
Yeah, where somebody goes, I got beef, fuck it, and then I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and even within the Catholic Church, which is maintained to be like one thing mostly, there's been two major schisms where large parts have broken off.
Yeah, that's right. We have two popes.
Yeah, and really three. There's a third tiny group in Spain.
There's a third mook?
Yeah, and he's like, he doesn't look too happy about it. But it's like from a relic from the anti-pope movement. And then there's Martin Luther.
Yeah.
All of Protestantism broke off over a legal argument. And so, like, it can be reasoned with, even in its worst times. And then you have, like, religions like Buddhism, right?
Who is just chill.
Yeah, that are essentially, like, depending on your version, but like...
Okay, that's the version I know then.
Yeah, because essentially baseline Buddhism. I found that at the club one time. Buddhism. Baseline Buddhism. Oh my God, I did it again. Baseline Buddhism is basically a semi-atheist belief system, right? It definitely has spirituality in it and a cosmology. I know, I'm stuttering hard.
No, you're good. My brain just like reverted back to, Bame Strond is having a honk.
Yeah.
Is bathing a honk.
Yeah. Bame Strond. Call the ambulance. Call the bondulance. But cults don't have that. They can't be reasoned with. The
cults
rules
are crazy, dude.
Yeah. They make up rules for nonsense reasons that are not based in any kind of long-standing cultural tradition.
Mm-hmm.
They just make them up. And like on the spot for no real reason, like when we talk about like Judaism, right? The cleansing rituals and stuff in Judaism, predate Judaism. I mean, like, they're old-standing cultural traditions that get assimilated into a rising faith.
Mm-hmm. Christianity did that with a lot of stuff. Like, Christianity ate cultural belief systems.
Yeah. Because you have what a lot of people refer to as, like, syncretism. If two people live next to each other for 500 years, their beliefs will meld. Like, their cultures, everything will meld.
I love the consistency of people. That makes it sound like I'm eating people.
The texture. No, but the constancy. They are like that one goddess in Skyrim would disagree with you. A new hand touches the beacon.
I can't believe you just busted that out, bro.
All right, so
okay, cults.
We'll actually get into the damn episode
cults.
now. Oh, okay. So
we've been trying to rein ourselves in for like 3 hours now. We got here at 1:30. It is currently
it's 4:11.
4:11.
Jeez.
Cults are awful, but they're great for entertainment like 10 years later.
And then they do things like rewrite the definition of words.
Yes.
Which is why I'm always very fucking sketchy on any kind of like TikTok grifter that wants to redefine terms, because that is a sketchy thing. So they do things like that. They also separate you from family and friends.
Oh, yeah, they isolate you hardcore because that's how they get control of you.
Yeah. It's any social network, and then they limit your communication and movement. That's the kind of thing that separates them from like any spiritualism or religion, is that most places you can just kind of like walk in and leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's not really a thing. If you decide to go to another church, there might be a little bit of like social backlash.
A cult wants you to stay the fuck put.
Yeah, and might do things about it too. Shoko Asuhara, in March 2nd, 1955.
Ooh, so this is like recent.
This is fairly recent. Yeah, in fact, definitely within our lifetime, actually. Was born as Shizuo Matsumoto into a poor...
good name.
It's a pretty cool sounding name. He's not a cool dude. He was born into a post-war family with 9 children, so born pretty poor.
That's a big family.
1955 is just 10 years after World War II ends.
Yeah.
So he was left mostly blind from infantile glaucoma.
Oh.
So he can't really see that well. He attends as a young man, he attends a boarding school. That's very common in that time period for men to go like men's schools.
Mm-hmm.
All the way up to the 80s, really.
Yeah, we talked about this with, what's his name?
Yukio Mishima.
Thank you. I
could
not think of his name. I got as far as Yuki, and that was it. And I'm like, nope, that's too short.
Yeah. And then, so he went there, right? He goes to the school for the blind, but he can partially see, and that's where his true color first starts to really show itself.
Oh, no.
He was a fuckload of a bully. He would extort the fully blind kids who could not defend themselves from the guy that could still kind of see.
We were just talking about how much I hate bullies.
Yeah. And he would like order them around and like extort money from them and all that kind of stuff. Bully people hardcore. And he liked that. That's the thing, is some people never really grow out of it, but he did give it the good old college try. In fact, by the 1980s, he had graduated from a junior college. That's the thing about Japan at the time, especially. We are entering a time period which is referred to as the Japanese economic miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the Marshall Plan and a good, solid fucking Japanese work ethic is legendary.
True that.
And they have a typical, at the time anyways, were very, very obsessed with quality. And so they opened up cheap Japanese crap as they knew it in the 1950s. Became the cars that everyone was buying, the radios, the televisions that everyone was buying. Companies like Toshiba and Nissan and all these start around, like some of these around this time. Mazda.
The phonetic of Nissan has always cracked me up.
That
like
it's
especially
not little brother. Yeah, or big brother rather.
For those of us that speak Japanese over here in the States for no reason now, for me anyway. What do you drive? A Nissan.
Yeah.
You drive your big brother?
Yeah. Because it's like a combination of two different words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Nissan. Anyway.
So he graduated from college where he studied religion a lot and tried to branch out into spiritual paths. And we're seeing, for a brief moment anyways, a different side of him where he's trying
to better himself.
Yeah, theoretically. He gets an acupuncture. He's looking for a spiritual path. Acupuncture in its original form is more closely tied to certain spiritualist beliefs.
Oh, trust me, I understand. I've watched enough of those Chinese romance dramas
right.
where acupuncture cures everything.
It's a Taoist, largely a Taoist belief. So, like, and that's not me tanking on fucking acupuncture.
Three needles in your leg, and then you're coughing up these gouts of blood, and suddenly you're cured.
Yeah. Actual acupuncture as we know it today, very effective. Not the cool magic that it used to be. Because now they're just like, oh, you have a tingling in your fingers? Maybe we should try to stimulate the nerve around your shoulder blade. And they've actually mapped out.
And it works. It's so cool.
It works very well.
They can poke a point on your foot and unclog your sinuses.
Yeah.
And that is so awesome.
And also the best like some of the best drainage people in the world when you have like lymphedema and stuff. After that, however, he starts going further into deeply religious studies. Some of us might have the gut reaction to think Christianity because we're here in the West. However, the predominant religions of Japan are Buddhism and Shinto.
Yes.
And Shinto is not really much of a religion, right? And I say that in that it's a great religion and that it doesn't have a lot of hardline rules.
Yeah.
So, like,
Shinto is difficult to explain to people that don't understand bits of the culture, at least.
I like to explain it as pantheism with a lot of cultural overtone.
Yeah.
And then, like, it used to be something different. It used to be an animist folklore, and then it came out of that, and now it is mostly used for honor rituals around like family and times of year, and it's a very cultural practice. I think it's kind of awesome. I've always kind of adored some of the culture, like, but Shintoism also has a lot of breaks. It has small cult groups that have kind of latched on in the past like 50 years or so. Some of them completely harmless. Some of them not so much. And this guy's not so much. So he studies.
I would suspect so. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a Morbid Monday.
Yeah. So around this time in Japan, in the 1980s, in the mid 80s specifically, Japan is going to start to lose the crest of the Japanese economic miracle. Is said to.
This is like 1984, 1985.
Yeah. The crest is normally considered to be about 1975. That's when the rate slows down, and they're still going up in the GDP. Right around 1990. The late 80s, 1990s, the Japanese are going to experience a crash. Their economic miracle was largely brought on by a combination of a very, very work-friendly culture and also a national bank. They could accrue a lot of debt. That's what got us our thing, too. At some point, it will stop. So, like, that's what the two great recessions of our lifetime were mostly about.
And they were so close to fucking together.
Yeah. Because it was housing. First, it was housing, and then it was other. Right. So it was housing is because our economy is largely based on expansion.
Dude, and we have towns. We have entire towns of unoccupied, like ghost towns.
Yeah.
Nobody lives there.
Because we have to, like, housing is one of the biggest indicators of our economy. And so we're just scared to death that it's going to crumble. And especially when you get to, like, big investment banks. That's what the too big to fail thing in our life was about. And so that's what happens here. There's a little corruption, and there's also a huge looming debt bubble. The yen loses a lot of its power. After this young guy, who we'll call Asahara from this point on, Asahara begins to study religious philosophy, Tibetan Buddhism, which is esoteric in nature.
Oh.
Yeah, it is not like there's a couple of different kinds of Buddhism.
Yeah.
You know, like, and in Japan, one of the big ones is called Nichiren.
Yeah.
But Tibetan Buddhism is way more it's way more esoteric, and like there's this, Chinese Buddhism has like different kinds of hells, and these guys guard hell, and like in some versions of Japanese Buddhism are very similar. We talked about what's going on in Japan right now, but there is also in this period of time, ever since the 1940s, a mass urban migration. People are moving into cities to find jobs. That continues to this day.
Yep.
With dying Japanese towns everywhere. That causes this kind of, between the end of the economic miracle, this loss of the country, like social fabric, and loss of some of the tradition, there is a hole in people. And you can actually look at a graph of cults in Japan and see that right around this time when the economic miracle ends and people are kind of like lost and afraid, that is prime picking for cults.
Oh, yeah.
Economic collapse. We saw this in our spiritualism episode, actually. Economic collapse and post-war always have a new, fresh crop of cults.
Yep.
I
have an entire book about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anderson has the book. I have borrowed it.
So in 1985, Asahara starts up a yoga studio, having studying. Now, yoga, when I say yoga, I don't mean like hot girl yoga. I mean, because we think about yoga in the modern sense, but yoga as in he is a yogi.
Yeah.
Right? A spiritual leader that uses this to open your spiritual pathways.
I knew what you meant, but my brain immediately supplied,
Yeah. Get into position 1. Where's the goats? No, I actually do.
Sun salutation.
Yeah.
Bah.
Yeah.
I sound like I'm making fun of it, like I don't do yoga myself.
Yeah.
I do.
I was like, the pandemic, yoga blew up right around the pandemic. We were all stuck in our house.
Trying to find something to do to stay active.
Yeah, many people's lives were yoga by Adrian.
I learned to play ukulele.
That's right. Hardship brings art, right?
It's a shame I didn't do something useful with it.
You got really good at several crafts.
Yeah, well, okay. Kind of.
You became a dedicated writer, learned how to knit.
Crochet.
Really.
Crochet.
I do that every time.
Crochet. And that was because your wife asked for a replacement blanket.
That's right. Her baby blanket.
Yes. Yeah. The whole reason I learned how to crochet.
Disgusting, and thank you for fucking, because we have your new one, and it is a lot less greasy.
Well.
So
it's also made of yarn that's allowed to be washed. Anyway, cults.
Yeah. So after all this study of religion,
yoga studio. That's not a yoga studio.
It's not a yoga studio. It's yoga in the traditional sense, where you have a guru that is teaching you spiritual things. Asahara starts this thing called Aum Shinrikyo. So it's spelled A-U-M, but it's
Gotcha.
Right. Specifically, later on, a branch is gonna be called Aleph. So
that's
so here's
ominous.
why it's like
ominous.
that. I'm
so sorry.
When you translate Japanese into English words, or English words into Japanese, rather, there's a system called Hepburn.
Yes.
Which is why we say things like credito cado, right? Like, so there are words that cannot be said in Japanese syllabary. So Hepburning is moving those things into a way to say it. When they say Aum Shinrikyo, it is pronounced sometimes, or at least they did it in their day, Aum Shinrikyo. And so the Omu, the U on the end, denotes usually a foreign word of some form. So cool stuff about language.
Trying to ask for a caramel macchiato in Japan is like saying it in English with extra letters.
Yeah. Some people describe it as saying it with a racist accent.
Yes,
because that's
I always feel that way.
Yeah, it doesn't quite sound great, but like kohi instead of coffee. And so it literally means Aum, supreme truth.
There's your first red flag.
That's anytime somebody's got the one and only way, be a little hesitant rather.
I will absolutely roast my own religion for that.
Yeah. I blame Paul though over Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm like, but 1989, Aum is legalized as a religious corporation. That may seem odd, but we do this here in America, right? Everybody's got that 10 whatever that makes them a charitable and religious organization,
and tax free.
That's right, and they're tax free in Japan too. But a secondary thing, you're not really allowed to investigate them. So there's a long history of why that is. Japan has a rough time with religion. Right. They've had Buddhist cults, warrior cults. They've had Shinto cults. They've had all kinds of stuff throughout the history. They had a brief uprising in Christianity around the Warring States period that they fought like a rebellion over for a little while, and persecuted ruthlessly. And then foreigners coming in with different religions has always kind of freaked them out, and for good reason. We don't always come in well.
No.
So, like,
The Inquisition.
Yeah. And in Japan, it was the Portuguese
Yep.
bringing in the Jesuits. And then later on, it was Admiral or Commodore Matthew Perry with a fucking giant armored steamship opening up the Japanese harbors. And then it was World War II.
Yep.
So, like, but this case, what we're going to talk about right now, is one of the major reasons why, like, the Japanese people don't really fuck with religion in the way that we would think about it. Right? Shinto is a cultural practice. Buddhism teaches pacifism. So, like, you're a lot less dangerous as a Buddhist. Also, Buddhism has been in Japan for fucking ever. I mean, for a very long time. They're granted protection against some investigations. To recruit new members, Aum passed out flyers, advertised in magazines, even at one point created an anime. It's good, too. I watched it. It's weird.
The ballet that I said I wanted to go see.
Shinyan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very similar.
Yeah.
It's like kind of propaganda,
Yep.
right?
That's where I was going with that. Thank you for picking that up because I could not articulate.
It is.
I can say articulate, but I couldn't get out.
Well, it's a weird thing to think of like a ballet as propaganda, but it is. I mean, like, it's a kind of propaganda.
Well, I mean, so is Celestial Seasons, but
Right. So is Oneida.
Really?
The Oneida is the name of a native indigenous group, but the Oneida, I think, anyways, I might be very wrong about that, but the Oneida Cutlery Company started off as the Oneida religion.
Really?
Which different people altogether, but Oneida was a Great Awakening religion. Yeah.
Huh. Today I learned.
They danced a lot and were very concerned with sex. It was a sex cult. Yeah.
Why is it always sex?
Because
much like syphilis, it always comes back to it.
But they were a lot less problematic, to be honest with you, than this guy is. So.
The hippies of the cults.
I know, dude. I never trusted, like, really. Members believed that an apocalypse was coming, because it's always that. And only Aum members would survive. They also believed Asahara could levitate for up to 4 hours later on. He would take pictures.
You should see a doctor about that.
I know. Yeah, I think it's called priapism. Asahara taught that there were multiple levels of consciousness in which he possessed the highest form as being an enlightened being. And that he could, of course, teach.
So he's cultivated his chi.
That's right.
And to reach ascension.
Well, I mean, he started off as a guy that kind of like tagged on to Nichiren Buddhism. Mm-hmm. So this is very Buddha, right? Buddha was in the bodhisattvas and stuff. So, except for shitty, right? Because Buddha was like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to free the world from its pain and, all that kind of stuff. Right. And just from all examples, never really did anything wrong.
Yeah, he was so chill.
A lot
he was just hanging out.
And then through meditation, ritual cleansing, which we see in Shinto religion, and intense yoga and instructions, you, Katie, could raise your consciousness to the next level.
I should not be trusted with that kind of power.
TLDR, you don't think like me, and that makes me better than you.
Yep.
That's how I translate that. So how did they get money? Because it's a cult, right?
They need money.
Yeah, they need money. And
they need money, they need bodies, and they need marks.
And legitimate religion, like Buddhism, does things like walk around asking for it. They kind of go like, hey, we need money. And then maybe you give them money, and they say thank you, and then they go away. Because that's what they just want something to maintain the temple. Or they do things like services.
Yeah.
Right? Like spiritual services. People come in and they say, hey, can you help us name our baby? In Buddhism, that's a pretty common thing, especially in Japan.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then they go, yeah, okay. Here's an auspicious name. And
Steven.
And then you go, here's a small donation. Or at Shinto shrines do matsuris. There's big cultural festivals.
Clink.
Yeah, clap. Yeah, bow twice, clap twice, ask the gods for favor. And so they're doing all kinds of fucking hanky shit. Very much like strict religious orders. Typically when you become a priest of some form in certain Buddhist sects and Catholic sects and many other things, you give up all your worldly goods, right?
Yep.
Catholic priests take a vow of poverty. So that's what this guy has them do. So they're already kind of primed for this because this is a thing with a lot of Buddhist monks as well. Kind of. Because the thing is, when you become a Buddhist monk, a lot of people just give their stuff to their family members, and if they stop being a monk, because you can do that in Buddhism.
Yeah, you can just bounce.
Yeah,
anytime
you can do that
want.
in Catholicism. You can just stop being a priest. You know what I mean? Like, people have done this.
And as a Jedi.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you could just walk as a Jedi.
Yeah. So like, but
looking at you, Anakin.
Yeah.
Um,
but in this thing, he asked all their members to give up all their stuff. He asked them to be, silent about what's going on. We're controlling information now.
Red flag number 2.
In 1990, however, this is very successful because he's a pretty charismatic guy, as they all are.
Yep.
And also, the thing about a culture that is losing its identity is that when someone comes up and says, I can get it back, there's multiple cults in Japan at this point in time. And like I said, some are harmless. Some of them are still around today and like have built hospitals and shit.
Yeah, not all cults are bad.
Now, sometimes they transition into legitimate religious faith and then or spiritualism in some form. And so, but this guy's not one of those. So
otherwise we wouldn't be here today.
Right.
Or if we were, we would be talking about something else.
In 1990, Aum reached 10,000 members and amassed 500 million yen, which is roughly about $4 to $5 million US dollars. Anti-Aum groups started to appear almost immediately because people started making it out of the cult, like they all do. There's an information breach. Somebody goes, "Where's my grandma?" Right?
Yeah.
Well, grandma's got stories of long, intensive meditation where you don't eat, which is, but forced. Also, these weird things where you go into a tank of water and just hold your breath for as long as you possibly can.
What?
Yeah, like really crazy shit. There's like dunk tanks. It's really wild.
Is there target practice with it?
No, unfortunately, not that fun.
Damn it!
Unless you count. This is the only time I'm going to mention this for the rest of the episode because I said like cult stuff, but minimal essay stuff. In esoteric Buddhism, sometimes you place your like fingers to someone's palm. Right, to transfer your spiritual wealth into there's a kind of like woo about it.
Uh-huh.
You can guess how this guy transfers his spiritual wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
gross.
Nasty. And of course with like young women.
Of course.
Yeah, and that's always a thing, right?
Every time.
So
every time.
If there is a man leading your cult, it's going to be about sex.
Honestly, the women are just as bad.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? This guy's name is a little hard to say, so forgive me. Tsutsumi, there we go, nailed it. Tsutsumi Sakamoto was a lawyer working on class action lawsuits against the cult. He publicly denounced their leader, saying that the members were held against their will, which was true for many people. Escaped members claimed that the cult had zero tolerance policy on disobeying Asahara, and that they would be tortured for trying to leave.
Jesus, red flag number 3.
Very true, by the way. On November 3rd, 1989, Sakamoto suddenly disappeared, along with his wife and child from their home in Yokohama. Second largest city in Japan, by the way.
Yeah.
So crowded, right? Yokohama is the Bay Area of Tokyo, basically, right? So we've got kidnapping on our stuff now. But you know what? That didn't stop his rise because the guy disappeared, but nobody really connected it to the cult. Weird. And, the guy handling a class act, but he was a lawyer, so he was handling a lot of shit.
Yeah, but like...
Right. You would figure. So we're going to get into why that happened later, but for now, let's skip it. Because the cult's doing great. They're advertising, they're dancing in the street, they look so happy in a time period where people just don't know what to do with themselves. A lot of people are losing their jobs. Job market is increasingly more like stringent and gives rise to the modern office culture of Japan where everybody just works.
Oh, Japanese office culture frightens me.
Yeah, it's especially when they call the black companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just work you to death. So he's feeling pretty good. He's doing great, and here's this thing. He was like, you know what? I should run for government. And he tries to run for parliament government, along with many other members, senior members of the cult. And the bigger the cult gets, like the more outreach it has, and the more free publicity they have, because these guys are it's like the Rama, whatever it was, that was up in Dakota Hills or wherever they were. Guys walking around in orange robes all the time. They get a lot of free press. A new base of operations is built at the base of Mount Fuji, because holy mountain, right? It's built, and Asahara, emboldened by success, decides to run for office. Many of the members run for position in the Japanese parliament. They even created their own political party, the Truth Party.
Oh, Jesus.
Or Shinrikyo. And it's nice and shoutable because they go Shinrikyo like that over and over and over again. He campaigned idol style by singing with backup dancers from the cult, and he was dancing too.
So this was in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So this was like peak.
Yeah. This was a Yumi Hamazaki days.
Yeah.
He would perform songs in downtown Tokyo's crowded streets where they would dance around and give out papers and all that good stuff. 500,000 ballots were cast in the Japanese parliamentary election.
How many did he get?
You want to take a guess?
It's either going to be really high or really low.
She's trying to read my mind.
I am, and it's so hard to do right now because you're so excited about this.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to say 0.
You know what? You're closer to that than anything. 1,700.
Ah-ha-ha!
And the worst part is, to his ego, many of the cult members didn't vote for him.
Period.
There were more than 1,700 cult members. There were 10,000 cult members.
Oh my God. Well, so that's what you get for holding people against their will.
Yeah, they were like, no, that's a bad idea. Dark Souls theme plays You Died across the screen.
Fuck.
This hurts his ego, or maybe it was just a time in Asahara's life where he evolves his spiritual practices into doubling down and getting much worse. Because that's the thing with these like egomaniacal types. When you hurt their ego, they double down on their followers hard.
I really hope the mic didn't pick that up.
Well, even if it did, fuck it. I mean, they know. You can't listen to the show and not know.
But
yeah, but with all people in power, that's just how they are.
I'm attempting to be kind of a little bit, sort of respectful.
It is Memorial Day here.
Oh yeah, it is.
So members that escaped are murdered. That's right. Yeah, people just die. They get attacked in the streets. Sakamoto, the lawyer that we mentioned before, was murdered. All 3 of his family members were injected with potassium chloride.
Good Lord.
That is after, of course, they entered their way into the house with a hammer. Evidence showed that the cult had plans to assassinate leaders of other organizations and organizers who cried out against the cult, even leaders of other cults. But we're not going to.
Had a hit list a mile long.
It was anybody who crossed them. We're not going to find that out for a long time. But in October 1989, the group negotiation with Sakamoto's law firm, the anti-court lawyer, threatened a lawsuit against them, which potentially would have bankrupted the group because you're talking about millions of dollars in injuries and all kinds of stuff. Those negotiations failed. In the same month, Sakamoto recorded an interview for a talk show on the Japanese television station TBS. That is not our TBS, different TBS.
I want you to know that the TBS theme just played in my head when you said that.
Yeah, not Turner Broadcast or whatever it is a different thing, right? The network then had made the interview secretly shown it to the group without notifying Sakamoto. So he didn't even know there was a possibility of danger.
Oh, wow.
He thought the banter between them, right? He had decried them in public, but they were also in negotiations. The worst he thought was the negotiations just failed. Maybe we'll pick it back up in a week or so. Without notifying Sakamoto, intentionally breaking the protection of sources. Because remember, these are real journalists. This is before Rupert Murdoch and his bullshit.
Yeah.
Back when if you were on a news station, you had to behave like a journalist. There was no opinion column as a news station.
Yeah.
You op-eded or you told news, right? That was it. Because remember, the Japanese are taking a lot of their cues from us. Just in case you were thinking maybe Aum Shinrikyo couldn't get much scarier, the marketing plan was so successful that chemists, military members, doctors were in their ranks.
Goddamn. Well, and most of them were trapped.
Yeah. Or really fucking bought the sauce.
Yeah.
And that chemist, one of them is a master's chemist, master's degree in chemistry. He's going to get real important a little later on. In 1991, Aum began using wiretapping to get the NTT uniforms and equipment. and created a manual for wiretapping.
What the fuck?
NTT is the national, it's like a Bell, right?
Yeah.
It's the telephone organization, the wire and telephone organization of Japan. I don't know what it stands for. Unfortunately, I didn't write that down.
Don't you hate it when you do that to yourself?
I'm pretty sure it was in English, which was weird. So in 1993, cult members sprayed large amounts of liquid containing Bacillus anthracis spores from a cooling tower on the roof of Aum Shinrikyo's Tokyo headquarters. However, their plan was to cause anthrax epidemic. Yeah, their plan to cause an anthrax epidemic failed, likely because they used vaccine strain of Bacillus of the anthrax bacteria that is generally regarded as non-pathogenic.
My God.
The attack resulted in numbers of complaints, 41 in fact. I did watch this. It was 41 called-in complaints of a strong odor because it's made in pig shit, right? It's made in pig guts. So, and it just stinks, right? Like the method of making it kind of smells funny, and people kept complaining of the smell coming from the tower, and they knew that the cult was in there. So it lodged a bunch of complaints, but remember they have protection
from
being investigated them up to an extent, right? So they came in, and then there's a point where one of their buildings gets shut down, but it takes them so long to come in and do the investigation that they clear out all their lab equipment. So their outreach was global. 20,000 members in Russia were made as they made friends with prominent political politicians. This was right around this time. He goes let's branch out. He goes to Russia. He meets one of the presidents of the USSR. And so he made friends with a lot of prominent politicians, and they were able to train 200 members in combat, learn a lot about weapons, get the plans for the AK-47. Because Japan is a capitalist nation. It's right. Japan is America's bulwark against China. And people don't think of it as that way. But the reason why we have that giant base in Okinawa is that if we ever fight China, that's the staging point. So, it's Korea, South Korea, Japan, and then Singapore and a couple other places make this kind of rim around China. That is our defensive strategy in the East. So, at the end of 1993, the cult started secretly manufacturing I mentioned all that defense stuff because Russia has a vested interest at the time. The Soviet Union had a vested interest in upseating that a little.
Fucking red flag. What are we up to now at this point?
Oh,
5,
Infinite. Yeah.
6.
At the end of 1993, the cult started secretly manufacturing the nerve agent Sarin. And later,
oh my God,
VX.
Bro!
Yeah, Aum tested
You don't need anything.
Yeah,
you don't need that for anything.
This is super dangerous shit. Aum tested its sarin gas on sheep in Banjawarn Station, a remote pastoral property in Western Australia, killing 29 sheep. Because they had a chemical production facility in Australia. They now have a training facility in Russia. They have several locations, including a compound at Mount Fuji in Japan.
No. Shut this thing down.
On the night of 27th of June, 1994, the cult carried out chemical weapons attack against civilians when they released sarin in the central Japanese city of Matsumoto, Nagano. Nagano was the site of one of the Olympics at one point, and you will know it as that city that has the big, cool castle.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the intact castles. I think they use those ninja things.
Did they have a pillar ghost?
If they had, this shit would have gone down. I don't think it's Nagano that has the pillar ghost. Yeah, that is a reference to an older episode that we did.
That was a mini-sode.
Yeah, it was a mini-sode about, when we'll have to, it's on our, you'll see it. It's on our list if you're so interested in learning about this type of thing that in Japan, they used to sometimes bury people inside of the pillars of bridges or stonework of bridges and castles to
protect the area.
And become kind of the kami of the area. There's even a plaque outside of one of the bridges. They kept trying to build it. The river kept washing it away. And then a lady volunteered in payment so that her sons could have wealth. They buried her in the stonework of the bridge. And the bridge stands to this day. There's a little plaque commemorating her as the kami of the bridge.
Yep.
Or yokai of the bridge.
No, not demon.
She's the kami. It
would have been kami.
Um,
or another word for spirit that escapes me at the moment.
Yeah. With help of a converted refrigerator truck, members of the cult released a cloud of sarin, which floated near the homes of judges who were overseeing a lawsuit concerning a real estate dispute, which was predicted to go against the cult. This Matsumoto incident killed 8 people and harmed 500 more. Because that's the thing about like sarin gas, it doesn't go away easily.
Yeah.
And it also hurts on contact. It lights all your nerve endings up.
Yeah.
Police investigations focused only on the innocent local resident, Yoshiyuki Koano. That area, Yoshiyuki Koano, who was innocent. And but he failed to implicate the cult at the time because he didn't know what the fuck was going on. And he was just kind of in the area.
Nobody did.
At the end of 1944, the cult broke into the Hiroshima factory of Mitsubishi Heavy Industries in an attempt to steal technical documents on military weapons, such as tanks and artillery. Because you might remember from World War II history that Mitsubishi makes engines for planes and shit.
Can we just take a moment to talk about like somebody in that cult, somebody involved in these missions at some point had to stop and look around for a second and go, are we the baddies?
Yeah. I think they might be the baddies.
Are we the bad guys here?
And I think that because they were doing so much, right? They're doing stuff, and I think that made them feel like they had momentum. Also, with all of their locations around the world, because there's also one in Monte Cassino, by the way. Yeah, they're in Europe too, right? They're everywhere. So I think sometimes when you have a person that's kind of waning and they start like doubting, I think they just send them somewhere. Or maybe they kill them because that comes up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because, remember, they torture people for even trying to escape.
Yeah. Police made plans to simultaneously raid facilities across Japan in March 1995. Prosecutors alleged Asahara was tipped off about all of this. Remember, because they had guys in the military.
Yep.
And they also had guys in the police.
Ugh.
And the military in Japan at this time, they don't have a standing army. They have the Japanese Special Defense Force, which is a little bit like a massive Coast Guard with an airborne division. That's so like they're soldiers, but they're not soldiers. They're not geared for invasion. They're geared for protecting their shoreline,
which is all of Japan.
Right? Yeah. In America, we have the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Prosecutors alleged that he was tipped off and that he ordered the Tokyo subway attack to divert police. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Aum had also attempted to manufacture 1,000 assault rifles, AK-47 style, but only completed one. According to the testimony of Kenichi Hirose at the Tokyo District Court in year 2000, Asahara wanted the group to be self-sufficient in manufacturing copies of the Soviet Union's main artillery weapon, the AK-47. One rifle was smuggled into Japan, which is very difficult to do, to be studied so that Aum could reverse engineer and mass produce the AK-47. Of course, like AKs are legendarily easy to make, but you do have to be a gunsmith.
Yeah.
But they had engineers and stuff, right? They tried to do this, but without any of the stamp dies and machinery, they weren't really successful. They made some firearms that didn't really work. Aum also attacked and murdered many people who criticized Aum or defected.
Jesus.
Most of this knowledge about Aum's activities would be discovered only after this next event. And here's where we get into the big shit.
What fuckery now?
I know it's a lot, right? I'm just like rattling off bad shit.
Yeah.
In March 20.
Rapid fire.
I know, right? Because I didn't know all this. I knew only about this part, not about everything leading up or how wide their reach was. In March 20th, 1995, a group of people, I think 6 in total, or 6 different points, went onto the Tokyo subway and had with them small bags of pure sarin gas or sarin liquid that would turn into gas. Dr. Ikono Hayashi, 48 years old, was a medical doctor, an MD. And we have some of his testimony where he said he really stalled because there was a lady and her child across from him on the subway. He had it wrapped up in a newspaper, and he knew that they would die. Like, he kept trying to, like, justify it to himself. Like, maybe they'll get off on the next stop. But it's not really going to matter because there's 6 more people. At this point, I'm going to read, like, straight up off of just a Wikipedia site. because there's so much information, and this is all thoroughly documented. There's only like 3 sites, like 3 sources cited on the Wikipedia, and one of them's the BBC. So like it's just news organizations and then like people who've written a book about religious cults. So like this is thoroughly documented. On the morning of March 20th, 1995, Aum members released a binary chemical weapon, 2-part, right? Most closely chemically similar to sarin, and a coordinated attack on 5 trains in the Tokyo subway system, killing 13 commuters, seriously injuring 54, affecting or making sick, right? Because people got really ill. 980 more. That's the low end. That's what this one book reports. Some estimated claims as much as 6,000 people were injured by the sarin. I actually believe that, and the reason why is because it's a terrorist attack. And so part of the people who are injured are not injured physically. They were in there. It happened. They'll have PTSD the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So I consider them a victim of this attack, right? It is difficult to obtain exact numbers since many victims were reluctant to come forward. Prosecutors...
And you blame them?
No, not at all, right? Not at all. It's like nobody talked shit about the mob for a long time.
Yeah.
Prosecutors allege that Asahara was tipped off by an insider who planned police raids on cult facilities and ordered an attack in central Tokyo to divert police attention. We just talked about that a little while ago.
Yep.
Away from the group. The attack evidently backfired. Police conducted huge simultaneous raids on cult compounds across the country. Over the next week, full scale of Aum's activities were revealed for the first time. At the cult's headquarters in Kamikuishiki, at the foot of Mount Fuji, police found explosives, chemical weapons, and a Russian Mi-17 1V military helicopter.
How did you even get that in?
You flew it. You paint it like a commercial helicopter. You fly it in. And maybe fly it into Hokkaido and then from Kamchatka and then...
The balls on this guy.
Yeah, crazy, right? While the finding of biological warfare agents such as anthrax in Ebola cultures was reported...
Oh, no.
Those claims now appear to have been widely exaggerated.
Okay.
Because Ebola is not... In the whole world... There are a couple of handfuls of people that can weaponize anthrax. That's how we knew who did it, like back in the day in America, or people believe they know who did it. There were stockpiles of chemicals, however, that could be used for the production of enough sarin to kill 4 million. Now, granted, that's like in a control, right? But a lot of fucking juice. I saw a picture of this facility. It's like a full chemical lab. Not in glass, in steel. Like it is a pipeline facility.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, because you see, it's a test lab.
At what point? Yeah. At what point? How did no one go, wait a second, guys, I think we're the bad guys.
Right? We're making sarin gas.
Because this is like 1980s level, like, supervillain.
Yeah.
Type shit. Y'all working in an underground lab, creating things that will kill people.
All because you believe that the end of the world's coming.
Doom cults are the worst, man.
And get ready for the trauma.
Oh dear.
So here's why, for his trauma, here's why here's the war he foresaw coming. He didn't foresee nuclear holocaust between the U.S. and Russia, which would have been rational in his childhood of the 1960s, right? Because he was born in 55. He thought America and Japan were going to go to war again, and that nuclear holocaust between those two countries would happen. That didn't even make any goddamn sense.
What?
He's dumb. That's the thing. He's like, he's not, right? He thinks that, so in his time, in his life, he saw the rise of many movements like Yukio Mishima's Tate no Kai that were built up around more or less boot in America, right? Becoming super Japanese again, but also modernizing, right? So there was a lot of that going around. There were other cults, there was all kinds of stuff. I don't know, and China had not yet really become China in the sense that Richard Nixon opens up trade, but for the most part, China remains to be fairly impoverished up until around this time period, actually. So he's not really seeing that, I don't think, because now he's insulated.
Well, he's not seeing much of anything. Childhood glaucoma.
Yeah, Nice.
Sorry, gotta lighten the mood somehow.
Yeah.
Because goddamn.
It's pretty grim. It's pretty grim, right? Police also found laboratories to manufacture drugs such as LSD, methamphetamine, and crude forms of truth serum, which doesn't exist.
Yeah, no.
That
doesn't work.
Yeah, in fact, LSD is a pretty good truth serum. Like, just getting people really high.
Fucking alcohol is a pretty good truth serum.
Yeah, just getting people high and drunk works better than sodium pentothal.
Fucking.
So, like, the problem is you can never be sure because you've drugged someone that they're telling you.
Yeah, they're altered.
Yeah, they think they're telling you the truth.
What color's the sky? Green!
Yeah. And also, you're
With
probably
pink
torturing
polka dots.
them, so they're going to say whatever the fuck you want them to say. That's how torture works. Why didn't work?
Yeah.
You have to torture like 9 people and then cross-examine them.
Ask any of the people that were tortured in England.
Right. Didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
In fact, the best in German history, who was an executioner, he did it by separating people, doing very mild stuff, and then just cross-examining all of what they said to try to find the commonality. And then he would go back. Basically, he did real police interrogation. So, like, like it doesn't fucking work. Truth serum is not really real. That's my opinion. A safe containing millions of US dollars in cash and gold and cells. Many still containing cells, like prison cells. Many still containing prisoners. During raids, Aum issued statements claiming the chemicals used were fertilizers. Now, remember, a lot of these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's true of bombs. Fertilizer bombs, you could claim that. Not sarin gas. Over the next...
Y'all can't see it, but I'm looking at Brian like he's crazy.
Yeah, over the next 6 weeks, over 150 cult members were arrested for a variety of offenses. The media were stationed outside.
Bro, take these bastards down for fucking jaywalking.
Yeah, anything.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, they were stationed outside Aum's Tokyo headquarters.
I'm like invested now.
Komazawa, what's up?
I'm like invested now.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. It's super fucking nuts.
This is nuts.
This is how my deep dive episodes always go. They're like, I start off kind of goofy and silly, and then it's like, and here's fucking the end of the world.
It's got aluminum in it.
Yeah. I got aluminum in it. I love that guy. So far, he's another one that...
We've got some weird echolalia shit.
Fuck, dude. Over the next 6 weeks... Over the next 6 weeks, 150 members were arrested for various offenses. The media were stationed outside of Aum's Tokyo headquarters in Kamizawa, Dori, and Oyama for months after the attack and arrests, waiting for action to get images of the cult's other members. That's a terribly written sentence. On the 30th, it's just... I'm reading from a page because there was too much information for me to relay quickly without just reading it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I do that occasionally myself.
On the 30th of March, 1995, Takeji Kunamatsu, chief of the National Police Agency, was shot 4 times near his house in Tokyo and was seriously wounded.
I would imagine if he was shot 4 times.
Bulletproof armor, baby. It works every time. Excellent. While the many suspected Aum involvement in the shooting, the Sankei Shinbun reported that Hiroshi Nakamura is suspected of the crime and nobody has been charged. Nakamura would later confess to this crime.
I gotta say, a lifetime of anime has prepared you for this episode.
It has. It has. The weeb runs strong. On the 23rd of April, 1995, Hideo Murai, head of Aum's Ministry of Science, because they were organized. Oh, my wife's home. I hear the snoring.
It startled us both.
Yeah, we were like, what the fuck? Yeah. Oh, God. It's Aum Shinrikyo. No, they're not around anymore, thankfully. They have morphed.
I would fucking imagine not if you got busted having shit to make bombs.
And sarin.
And sarin
DX
fucking
and
gas.
Fucking everything else.
Prisoners in cells. You are not... Okay, you can... You, dear populace, are not permitted to keep prisoners.
Yeah, you don't have the legal authority by anyone.
Like you can do a brief citizen's arrest and that's it.
Now, you ready for how gangs are different in Japan than they are in America?
I am.
Because Because gangs,
Passingly familiar, but pray, go on.
organized crime is different in Japan.
Yeah.
And always kind of has been.
Yep.
Not saying they're great. Saying sometimes they can be. Sometimes. Idol and hostess industry, still fucked.
Oh,
but
yeah.
on the 23rd of April, 1995, Hideo Murai, the head of the Aum's Ministry of Science, was stabbed to death outside the cult's Tokyo headquarters amidst a crowd of about 100 reporters.
And nobody saw anything.
Oh, they in front of cameras. Very, very public. The man responsible, a Korean member of the Yamaguchi Gumi.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, one of the largest. The 6th Yamaguchi Gumi is Japan's largest, actually, Yakuza organization.
Yeah.
These are the real fucking deal, and
So-
you've done some shit on their turf.
Yeah, no, this was that was an open declaration of war.
Yeah, you bombed my neighborhood.
You done fucked up, AA Ron.
Yeah. So I'm going to send a man with a Tonto to rearrange your guts. And you're
Fuck.
the guy responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right.
Period.
Traced back to a loose labor union for dock workers in Kobe before World War. Because that's how they handled shit back then.
Yep.
So I love this. Of the Yamaguchi Gumi, was arrested and eventually convicted of the murder. His motive remains unknown.
Can't fucking
That's what the
imagine.
article said. I was like, yeah, I can't imagine. You released sarin gas in his fucking neighborhood. Are you crazy?
His motive.
Yeah.
It
was like, welcome to feudalism.
Let me help you out here.
Yeah. You pissed on his doorstep and he's here with a knife.
Yeah,
They sent one of his hitters to get you.
that's how this
And
works.
his family was well taken care of. That's how this works. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, we're going to take care of you. You know, like that guy. That's what's happening. But in Japanese. Yeah. Or maybe he owed them a bunch of money and it cleared him. Who knows? Yeah, his personal motives, we don't know. Why it happened, we very much know.
We know.
Yeah. So
You know, I know, they know, Lino, everybody knows.
yeah.
Sorry.
So on the evening of May 5th, a burning paper bag was discovered in the toilet. The toilet in Tokyo's busy Shinjuku station, the big one, right? Upon examination, it was revealed that it was filled full of hydrogen cyanide, in a device which, had it not been extinguished in time, would have released enough gas in the ventilation system of this station, which is partially underground, to kill 10,000 commuters.
These guys are crazy.
On the 4th of July, several undetonated cyanide devices were found at other locations in the Tokyo subway. Now, I don't think this is entirely chalked up to ineptitude. I think people sometimes just get second thoughts.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was inside sabotage.
Yeah,
This was I don't want to do this.
There's probably an arming device of some form,
Yeah.
and then they just they were alone. They set the thing, and then they decided not to.
Yeah.
This happens a lot with bombs. People leave bombs outside of buildings that never go off.
Yep.
Second thoughts. During this time, numerous cult members were arrested for various offenses, as we stated before, but arrests of the most senior members on the charge of the subway gassing had not yet taken place. That's because they didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
Right? They needed
They got to get the little guys to get the big guys.
Yeah, and they had to cycle through all the information from the raids.
Yep.
So computer stuff, write files, all that shit. Connect dots, red strings, board, wall.
This is the coding montage.
Yeah,
section
that's
of the
right.
movie.
Attacking keyboards. There's a guy perched on a couch with long black hair and crazy eyes. Oh, man. In June, an individual unrelated to Aum had launched a copycat attack by hijacking all Nippon Airways Flight 857, a Boeing 747 bound for Hakodate from Tokyo. The hijacker claimed to be an Aum member in possession of sarin and plastic explosives, but claims were ultimately found to be false.
Why is there always a fucking copycat?
Because they like the prestige.
Yeah,
They like
I know.
being in the camera. They don't actually like hurting people. They like the attention. Asahara was finally found hiding within a wall.
What?
Yeah, all H.H. Holmes style, of a cult building known as the Six Satien in the Kamikushiki complex on the 16th of May and was arrested. He was hiding in the wall. He had a little safe room or something. I don't think he was just in the wall. I think
We
he had, like, a
should
little
do
room.
a murder hotel episode.
Yeah.
I don't know
You know,
which one of us is going to do it.
I read a little bit about it, and apparently, a lot of it might just be
Folklore.
yeah, like
Damn.
newspaper bullshit from the day. And he was like a killer, definitely, but maybe not as bad as they said he was.
I know that Bailey did an episode, Murder Mystery and Makeup Monday. If y'all don't know her, please check out Bailey Sarin.
Yeah,
please, she's amazing. She's hilarious. She did an episode on H.H. Holmes.
yeah, pretty good. So did I think Kaz Rowe did one.
Yeah,
well, which amazing. Also, queer history person. If you're into that, Kaz Rowe is the shit.
We are an itty bitty podcast shouting out all of these big podcasters.
Right? Yeah, you should watch. You should definitely check her channel out. She only has like fucking 2 million regular subscribers.
Nah, fuck it. Get Bailey more subscribers.
Yeah.
I like her.
On the same day,
shout out to horses.
Also, yes, horses is a great channel. On the day, that's where I started many of my things. On the same day, the cult mailed a parcel bomb to the office of Yukio, not that Yukio Aoshima, the governor of Tokyo, because they have prefects.
Whoa!
So, blowing off the fingers of the secretary's hand. This has happened multiple times in history at different points where somebody mails a bomb and it gets the secretary. Because secretaries, if you listen to this and you're a would-be dickhead, if you mail a bomb to your least favorite politician, one of their aides will open it. You will hurt some college kid or some secretary.
Or an intern.
They're not there to safety check shit. They're just there to cycle through fan mail and give a thing back to you because the person in question is very busy. So, like,
and they're 9 times out of 10 will never, ever, ever see the thing that you sent them.
Yeah, because they'll be like, if it's a cool thank you, if it's a particular note or a good like story, it gets passed on to them. Most of the time, it's a page that answers this in the name of the person because they're just super busy, and also there's 100,000 other people sending them shit. Poor secretary. Asahara was initially charged with 23 counts of murder and 16 other offenses. The trial, dubbed the trial of the century by the press, ruled Asahara guilty of masterminding the attack and sentenced him to death, because they do have the death penalty. And we will describe that penalty in just a moment. The indictment was appealed unsuccessfully. Several senior members accused of participation, such as Masayami Tsukuchiya. I told you earlier that we were going to talk about that chemist. That's the chemist.
Oh shit!
The head of the science department.
Fuck that guy in particular.
Master's degree in chemistry.
Yeah.
He also received the death sentences.
I was about to say that man needs to be strung up by his toes.
Yeah, there was a full. Well, he was strung up.
Oh.
So, yeah, they do a strangulation there.
I accidentally.
Yeah. They for some reason got rid of the beheading thing, and they don't do the firing squad, and they don't do poison. At the time they do a kind of like wall-based rig that strangles you.
I know exactly what this is. I watch way too many dramas. I recently watched a drama.
Yeah, where it goes like down and to the floor and shit. And
there's people pulling on the other side of a wall.
Yeah.
So nobody has to look at the person.
It's real wild.
Oof.
I was just like, damn, give me the sword. Like, for real. Like, granted, fuck this guy. But also, 13 people in total, I think, were executed. So the reasons why a small circle of mostly senior Aum members committed atrocities at the extent of personal involvement by Asahara remain unclear. That's because they never get their hands dirty, ever. Although several theories have attempted to explain these events. In response to the prosecution's charge that Asahara ordered the subway attacks to distract authorities, the defense maintained that Asahara was not aware of the events.
Horseshit!
Yeah, pointing to his deteriorating health. Shortly after his arrest, Asahara abandoned his post as the organization's leader and maintained silence afterward.
Bro said, I didn't see shit, and then said, but I'm blind.
Yeah. How could I have done it? He abandoned his post as the leader, refusing to communicate even with lawyers and family members. And that's because his ego's been crushed.
Yeah.
He's a megalomaniac, and his ego's been crushed.
This is a temper fit.
Yep. You've shut down because you can't maintain your illusion of grandeur anymore. After 1995, on June 21st, 1995, Asahara acknowledged that in January 1994, he ordered the killing of a sect member, Kotaro Ochida, a pharmacist, at an Aum hospital. This is pretty normal for a lot of these cults. They have like hospitals and schools and shit. Ochita, who tried to escape from the sect compound, was held down and strangled by another Aum member who allegedly told him that he too would be killed if he did not strangle Ochita.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Really crazy shit. On the 10th of October, 1995.
This is some Sithy shit.
It is pretty bad. Yeah. Aum Shinrikyo was stripped of its official status.
Period.
As a religious legal entity. Remember, it cannot continue. In fact, it was marked as a dangerous religious organization, which is shorthand for cult and also terrorist organization.
As it should be.
Because in Japanese history, sometimes religious organizations, such as a group of monks called the Iko-Iki, get real fucking armsy and carry their naganatas in your city. And so like shit happened, in the past.
They have rules for this.
Yeah.
They have learned.
Yeah. So like,
oh my
God. And then Oda Nobunaga like wiped them all out. It was in a very bloody, Japanese history is very interesting and wild. So it was declared bankrupt by 1986. However, the group continues to operate under constitutional guarantee of freedom of religion, funded by a successful computer business.
Who?
No, theirs.
Oh.
They have show companies. And donations and under strict donations, under strict surveillance, 24-hour. Attempts to ban the group altogether and then under the 1952 Subversive Activities Prevention Law. They have one of those.
Wow.
Fuck around hard enough in Japan.
Yeah, you go find out.
Yeah, so, and we have one too here as well, Aliens and Sedition Act. But they were rejected by the Public Scrutiny Examination Commission in 1997. I think probably they were afraid to commit a precedent that would ban religions that just a politician didn't like. The group,
I get that, but
worst case scenario with law all the time, right? The group underwent several transformations in the ass. I'm just reading from Wikipedia. That's what I'm doing.
This is crazy.
But I have cross-checked a lot of this, and it's accurate, right? This is from BBC, from a lot of other people. Our group underwent several transformations in the aftermath of Asahara's arrest and trial. For a brief time, Asahara's two preteen sons officially replaced him as guru.
Preteens.
Yes, it regrouped under the new name Aleph. Got a little Greek letter. In February 2000.
So now it's a frat house.
It announced a change in doctrine, religious texts related to the controversial Vajrayana Buddhist doctrines and the Bible, because it was partly Christian-based, partly Buddhist-based, and partly his own bullshit.
Mainly his own bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Were all removed. The group apologized to the victims of the sarin gas attack and established a special compensation fund. Provocative publications and activities that alarm society are no longer published. This is where I'm going to say something controversial. A lot of fringe religions do this when their leader dies, right? Mormonism went through this.
It's kind of a saving face thing.
Yeah, because now you have the community, and the community has it's familiar and has some level of value to the people in it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want the bad shit, and the bad shit guy is gone, and usually their second in command is like worse, but that guy's gone too. They've all been strangled to death. So,
not to draw yet another parallel, but the LDS thing.
Yeah. The U.S. cavalry comes in, busts the place up a little bit.
Yep.
And then we all get nice. Yeah, like that's, and what happened to many other groups, religious or cultish or otherwise, is that like you step over the line, somebody gets real mad, and
you get slapped the fuck down.
Yeah, usually there's a rebranding of sorts.
Yep.
Right. So, Fumihiro Joyu, I think Joyu. I have never seen that combination, but it should be Joyu. One of the few senior leaders in the group under Asahara who did not face serious charges, became the official head of the organization in 1999. Koki Ishii, a legislator who formed the Anti-Aum Committee in the National Diet in 1999, was murdered in 2002.
Whoa!
Over 15 years, only 3 fugitives were being actively sought. On 11:50 p.m. on 31st of December 2011, Makoto Hirata surrendered himself to the police and was arrested on suspicion of being involved in the 1995 abduction of Kiyoshi Kariya, a non-member who had died during the Aum kidnapping and interrogation.
Well, at least he gave himself up.
Yeah. On the 3rd of June, 2012, police captured Naoko Kikuchi, the second fugitive, acting on a tip from local residents. Acting on information from the capture of Kikuchi, including recent photographs, showed modified appearance. The last remaining fugitive, Katsuya Takahashi, was captured on the 15th of June, 2012. He said that he has been the driver in Tokyo gas attack. He had been the driver in the Tokyo gas attack and was caught in Tokyo, having been on the run for 17 years.
Oh my God.
On the 6th of July, 2018, Asahara and 6 other Shinrikyo, I keep saying that wrong, Aum Shinrikyo members were executed by hanging. Japan's Justice Minister Yoko Kamikawa stated that the crimes plunged people not only in Japan but other countries as well into deadly fear and shook the society to its core. Amnesty International criticized the use of the death penalty in the case. Now, that's their official line. They criticized the death penalty to begin with. I believe that the writer of this article wanted to throw some shade. Amnesty International does not like the death penalty, bar none. It's not about this guy in particular. While executions are rare in Japan, they have public support according to the surveys. There were 13 members on death row at the time. Aum Shinrikyo members executed, and it lists below that. So the organization has split into a couple of different things. One was that one that we mentioned earlier at the very top, which was the Greek letter organization. The other one split off and then went like functionally bankrupt further, and then now is no longer being launched because it's just defunct.
Okay, bye.
There's like 2 members, and they're not like knowledgeable members that could make any kind of weaponry. So we talked about earlier that they were in Australia, they were in Monte Cassino, they were in Russia. The Russians cracked down fucking hard because you can't get away with this shit in Russia. Like you cannot get away with this shit in Russia. That's what happens. There's an anti-Aum law. Surveillance period of 3 years. There's all this kind of stuff, right? In the same year, Russian member was arrested for plotting a bomb attack in 2000 as part of a plan to rescue Asahara from police custody.
The fuck?
The plan was led by Dmitry Sigachev, who was arrested at Primorsky Krai. I don't know where that is, but in 2001, the Russian Aum members were reportedly planning to attack the Tokyo Imperial Palace with explosives in an effort to free Asahara from police custody. In 2003, Public Security Intelligence Agency received permission to extend surveillance for another 3 years. They found evidence to suggest that they still revered Asahara, even though he's on death row. According to religious news blog, authorities still consider the group a threat to society. It just like they just kept going. I mean, they really did. The whole thing is so goddamn crazy.
Your leader is in jail. Give it up.
So the guy that took over, Joyu's group, called itself Hikari no Wa, the Circle of Light, claims to be committed, uniting science and religion and creating a new science of the human mind. That's the only way I can say that. The new science of the human mind. Men talk. Oh, God. It's just like having previously aimed to move the group away from its criminal history and towards its spiritual roots.
It's giving Scientology now.
Yes, because the spiritual roots are garbage, bro. You rewrote a kind of... I only, by the way, feel confident in talking about this because, everyone else has. Because it's now 2026.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of these people have just died.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Japan Times alleged that good looks and commitment to the cause demonstrated by Aleph inspire a new generation of admirers. Dissatisfaction with society and low degrees of success in life make them identify with the cult and adore the cultists as if they were pop idols. Now, see, that's the first time I've read that sentence, but I made that joke earlier.
Yeah,
because
you did.
It's exactly how they put themselves forward. Sometime after 2013, the Public Security Intelligence Agency took a photograph inside of Aleph's facilities. In this photograph, a bundle of papers is pierced with a knife. on an altar-like object. The papers included photographs of PSIA employees and directors, police officers, and a lawyer, Taro Takamoto, who helped the followers leave Aum Shinrikyo. At least at this point in time, Aleph is displayed in portraits of Shoko Asahara and demanded followers dependents using videos of Asahara. That, like on a dais. I've seen one of these photos that he's like, he's up there, like a Buddha statue. It's really fucking crazy. 2016 Montenegro. I said Monte Cassino. Montenegro. Monte Cassino's a hill, not a country. Montenegro expelled 58 foreigners suspecting of being associated with Aum Shinrikyo.
GTFO.
Yeah, four of them were from Japan. 43 were Russian. 7 from Belarus, which is just Russian, kind of. They're a fucking puppet state for Russia. 3 from Ukraine and 1 from Uzbekistan, which is crazy because most random. Uzbeks are Islamic. So it's like,
yeah,
I believe, maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but normally if there's a stan on the end, right? So
what?
I'm not even gonna really go into the rest of that. There's so much information.
What?
I could scroll. I'm only through 2/3 of the page.
That's insane.
2019 Tokyo car attack. Aum sympathizer Kazuhiro Kasukabe told authorities he intentionally rammed into pedestrians crowded into the narrow Takeshita Street in Harajuku district.
Not Harajuku, no!
Fucking yeah, dude. E-girls flying everywhere. Hatsune Miku was crying. No, but it's like
the fashion
fucking,
district.
It's like sad, dude. It's crazy. And you know why I did it? It was...
aliens.
No. It was the anniversary of the execution.
Ugh.
That's what happened. It was the anniversary of the execution. So it was like a love letter to Asahara.
Fucking hate cults.
Yeah. It remains unclear whether he was referencing the 2018 execution of the cult members directly or making a broader statement. The attack on New Year's Day left 8 injured and a 9th person who was already directly injured by the driver.
Good Lord.
I assume he stole the car. Yeah.
That's... whoa.
I want to, at this point, earlier I talked about, so we talked about cults, how they can get, not you said it yourself, not all cults are crazy, right?
Yeah,
some cults
not all of
them. Some cults are just kind of normal, right? Like they're, or kind of harmless. A lot of them are doomsday cults or suicide cults. But some of them turn into just like kind of plain Jane spiritualism, especially after the initial leader dies.
Mm-hmm.
But like there were spiritualist movements here in America that are still around in Florida, and they have like a little community. You can go there and get your palm read stuff. It's fine. It's a vacation attraction people really like. I thought it was so interesting that within the same country, you've got like 9 different cults that pop up. This is the worst one by far.
Yeah.
Some of which are also very bad. And then some of which are... the other biggest one, by the way, is the Moonies, the Korean Christian cult, which is now here in America. Yay, America. The original guy died, and then his kids took over. They're the ones that do those gun weddings.
Oh.
They're descended from the Moonies.
That's weird.
Yeah, and we haven't kicked them out for some reason. Because we are very permissive to cults in this country.
As evidenced by how many fucking cults?
There's a lot of them. A lot of them here. So, and most of it's freedom of religion laws they can hide behind. But you can't hide behind child abuse. So here's what's changed. We like to wrap up a lot of the shows with like what changed on the positive.
Yes.
Right? The good stuff. Here's what happened. These guys are on fucking lockdown. Every time they sneeze funny, they get raided. Right?
Period.
One of their branches has completely died. They're not even under 24-hour surveillance anymore because there's like 4 of them. So like they're just like, well, if there's a cult of 4 people, they're not allowed. They're illegal, so they're not allowed to proselytize to anyone. So they're not growing. And if they're growing in secret, they're breaking the law, so they can come in and arrest them. And also, if they like murder somebody, because there's like 4 of them, they go, "You're a murderer, go to jail."
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily you're a cult murderer. It's like you're a crazy dude that still worships this guy that died in 2013 or whenever.
Ugh.
So
Ugh.
Here's the other good part. Because of all of these cult things that happened with the Moonies, because the Moonies got in deep.
Yeah.
They were really invested. That's why one of their prime ministers was thought to have been taking money. His name was Shinzo Abe, or Abe Shinzo, if you want to be more accurate. And a guy, just like the other guy, he got fucking knifed. A guy ran right up to him with a Tonto, ran him fucking straight through. Welcome to Japan.
Yeah.
I was like,
wow.
I was like, because I don't know what it is about the Japanese people, but when they want to fucking send a message, just with a sword.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like waking up with a horse head in your bed. There's no questioning that.
Right.
You fucked up, Ron.
Yeah. So what the good that came out of this was that it galvanized the Japanese people against a lot of cults. There are a lot of Shinto cults, but only in the way that sometimes we say, like, the cult of Aphrodite.
Yeah.
The cult in that sense of that it's like a minor branch of a larger religion.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like fire festivals and stuff around a couple of things which are been said to been exploitative, but for the most part, they're just another Shinto sect. Because all of this went down, it is now a thing in Japan that you are not really allowed to like hand out leaflets and shit about religion. So like you are, but not. And a lot of people do it from like a bus because that's how politicians advertise. They get on a bullhorn and they drive around.
And also so you can get the fuck away.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not allowed to like harass people about shit. Most of these organizations were put on a watch list. I wanted to bring this up because if you pay attention to news from the world right now, Japan's going through it.
Yeah.
There is a strong nationalist bent that has kind of been taking over specifically around foreigners, because we keep doing dumb shit in temples and that gets firebranded. Like people are even though that's very, very rare in actuality, people are doing a lot of that. That they have like a gossip column news now that is really psyching this up and making it seem like everybody's doing it.
It's a big deal that it was done at all.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah, don't hang off of torii gates. Don't fucking do pull-ups on torii gates. If I am in Japan and I see somebody doing a pull-up on torii gates, I'm going to punch you right in the cock. I mean, like, so hard. And I'm going to do it from the back so you don't see it coming. Full Mike Tyson uppercut. Just yeah.
Welcome to castrati.
Yeah. Because that pisses me off so bad. Because the Japanese people have had such a rough time with religion.
Yeah.
With hardline religions, like anything that has like a canon. Because Shinto doesn't have a canon. There's no like holy text outside of stories. Buddhism has koans and it has like sutras and stuff like that. But it doesn't have a text in the sense that this is the truth, the whole truth.
This is the way.
Yeah, it doesn't have that, right? Not really. So there's a lot of tension over this in Japan right now. And there was a guy that like kicked in a Shinto shrine and stole and like took one of the artifacts out and walked off. And they caught him on CCTV camera. And my God, did that cause an outcry. I think he got slapped with a giant fine. But
that's
like,
it?
Well, it's when I say a Shinto shrine, I don't mean a big one. I mean like one of the little local ones.
Yeah, but still.
It's still a real dick move.
Yeah, you don't fucking do that.
And especially since it really enraged a lot of people who were already enraged about foreign interaction into Japan.
Mm-hmm.
The building of the mosque caused a kind of outcry from like a lot of people in the country, and then there's a lot of other people in the country that are very much like opening and accepting of foreigners. They need the labor, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Right? And they believe in freedom of religion. There are Christian churches in Japan. There are, of course, all kinds of Buddhism. There's like three different sects, major sects of Buddhism. There's even a Japanese sect called Nichiren.
Really?
Yeah. There's like Zen, of course, is like from China. Right, like the guy Sogen was moving back and forth. Zen Buddhism, they're very, very split on this, and it's causing a lot of stuff. And I wanted to bring that up. If you're watching the news and it seems like they're really fucking going crazy over this building a mosque situation, it's because of their history with cults, and they do view, by the way, like many, many, many Japanese people do view Christianity and Islam and Judaism, or really any highly canonized religion, as being like a cult. Like they look at it and they go like, I don't get it.
They're not entirely wrong.
No, they're not, especially when you consider that like most of Japanese people are functionally atheist.
Yeah.
In the way that a lot of Jewish people are like culturally Jewish and kind of mostly an atheist. It's very similar to that. Like, because Buddhism doesn't really have a god. so it's a weird dichotomy of situations where like, hey, every time somebody has like the truth,
Yeah.
that this is the
Shit
one
goes
way.
down. Can we not?
Right. So, all right.
Well, thank you, Brian, for educating me on this, because I had, previous to today, I had no fucking idea that this had happened or existed at all. Fuck.
It's crazy, right?
That's so much. Like, seriously, how did these people not go, wait, stop, pump the brakes for just a second. We're making gas to kill people. Guys, I think we're the bad guys. I think we need to stop. Oh my God.
He knows the way.
This is not the way. This is not the way.
Don't trust, religious or otherwise, anyone who tells you that they're the only truth. Especially living. Because the thing is, like, you know, when you encounter a lot of religions that are like thousands of years old, a lot of it's like interpretation, or it's someone wrote about this guy, right? Like Jesus, like the New Testament's mostly Paul. The sayings that are attributed to Muhammad. Muhammad recorded this, but he was reportedly illiterate. So we can, like, that's what it's at. So like we can kind of assume that the idea is that it's divine inspiration. But we can kind of assume that it has been transcribed, right? And we know that like the sayings of Muhammad are just attributed to him. There's no proof of this. So like, but they're good saying. It's like Proverbs, right?
Yeah.
So you can reform your own religion. You can be like, well, they thought about things differently.
Well, I mean, most religions go through a Reformation period.
Right. Because when you're 2,000, 1,000 years old, you can go like, well, yeah, they believed in slavery, but we live in modern times.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have the time is on your side. If this motherfucker is alive, like right now.
No, thank you.
Yeah, like they can say all kinds of crazy shit. Like
reasons, like I joke about being like in a fandom and call it a cult, but like reasons cults wouldn't work on me.
Yeah.
Me in particular. Yeah. Just like my general kind of.
There's a cult right now in America that believes that Native Americans are essentially lying, and that the Native inhabitants of America were all from Africa. And then there's like there are people who believe that all humans come from aliens directly. Different kinds of aliens.
Oh no.
One of them oddly looks a lot like Aryans. They're all blonde, blue-eyed aliens.
I'm not gonna lie. My guilty pleasure, like just to turn on and crochet and like giggle, is Ancient Aliens.
It's so goddamn whack.
It's so stupid. I love it.
Let me go ahead and pause. Let's sign out, and then I'll tell you about my favorite one, because like it's gonna take too long to. So thank you for listening to our deeply upsetting episode.
Yeah.
Sorry if we made too many jokes. It's because it's deeply upsetting, and it's the only way we know how to deal with this shit.
We got to diffuse with a little bit of laughter, even if the situation is inappropriate. Ask me about my uncle's funeral at some point.
Yeah.
I had the back section of that funeral parlor just rolling.
You got to sometimes, because it's so dark, and it's something that we face all the time. Cults pop up all the time, new ones. So like, and they can get like Jim Jones.
Yep.
And all those guys can get so bad. Like
the alpha male like epidemic.
Oh, how weird that shit is.
That bullshit.
Did a pimp was able to get a bunch of guys to just be like, well, he has good advice about working out. So does Arnold Schwarzenegger. He doesn't like extort women.
I saw the best comeback to somebody saying, well, I'm an alpha male. Oh, is that like a furry thing?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now, that said, I ain't got nothing against furries.
Yeah.
Because some of y'all have some of the best artwork out there. Like, to learn how to, like, shade and shit. Fuck yeah.
Also, they understand what that term actually means.
Yes, and then they get so angry.
Yeah. At like, so you mean that you eat last? That you make sure the elderly all get where they're supposed to be going? That you guard bodies until they're well and truly passed? While somebody's dying, you sit with the dying?
None of you know what that actually means.
Yeah, I was like, wolves are actually incredibly communal animals. Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, dear listener, for joining us for this episode.
Yeah.
We'll catch you in the next one. And remember, next time, you're mine.
Hey, this is Brian from Morbid Mondays. If you like the show, please consider stopping by at our Ko-fi account. That's ko-fi/Morbid Mondays. It's $1 a month, or just any one-time tip. And if you would like to help us fund our future endeavors or just want to show a little bit of appreciation, awesome. Thank you so much for listening. And if you don't, whatever. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening.